difficult, quite foreign feeling to us to lose a match in our place. It's been a long time since that happened, so confused at the moment. We have to continue to be proud of what we put into this tournament and the fact that we made it all the way to the final. I think we've got to take some pride in that, but ultimately very, very disappointed that we couldn't take that final step. For me, the game was lost from minutes 30 to 45. Other than that, I think we did a very, very nice job tonight, and we're unfortunate not to get a goal. But as I told the players yesterday, when you play a team like Monterrey, if you fall asleep for one play, they can punish you. Essentially, that's what happened. We fell asleep for one play right before the halftime, and we didn't do a good enough job with the ball from minutes 30 to 45, and so we were under the gun for too long a stretch.
Jason, talk about your frustration. I'm sure it's frustrating at the end of the match. You're throwing everything into the box. You're getting a lot of close calls, and watching them not go in.
Yeah, I mean it brings back memories of the New York game back in '08. Bring back memories of the last 10 minutes of Dallas last year. It's just one of those things. That we've seen recently. Many of those nights, something goes right for us and we walk out here with a result. But tonight, couldn't quite get that last bounce to help us.
Jason, it looked like you came out really trying to attack and get an early goal. It seemed like the chances were there.
As I said, I mean, I'm pleased with what we did for 75 minutes of that match. 15 minutes that bothered me are from 30 to 45. But I'm really pleased with the way we came out. I'm pleased with the crowd support we had. I'm pleased with the reaction we have in the second half. I'm pleased with so many things, but ultimately obviously not very pleased that we aren't wearing the gold medals.
How do you keep this from hanging over your head as you enter back into the MLS competition?
Very, very difficult task. And I think that we'll see. I think that the answers are in front of us. There's a lot of questions to be answered. Obviously, it's going to be really, really important. And from my point of view, we'll see what kind of group we are now. It's really an easy task to talk about how good everybody is and how happy we are and all those sorts of things when things are going our way. And so now to have this major, major disappointment, we'll see how we respond.
Jason, you talked a little bit about how you guys came out really aggressive attacking and maybe a chance that went, you could have had chances there to score.
Yeah, I think all in all, again, for 75 minutes, I felt like we were the aggressors. From minutes 30 to 45, we weren't, and that's when we got hurt. But, it wasn't quite our best night in the attacking third and in and around the penalty box. I didn't feel like we were quite sharp enough. We needed somebody to make a special play, and it just didn't come off for us tonight.
Jason, do you think you missed Kyle's presence out there? Could that have been a difference in those 15 minutes?
I do. I do. Kyle's an extremely important player, not only with how many defensive plays he makes for us, but how active he is in our possession. And I felt like we were missing that little bit of energy probably when we had the ball. Again, just in those minutes, but all in all, I thought everybody gave it their best, and we had a good enough team out there to win. So I'm not using that as an excuse either. I thought he had a pretty decent night. He did a very admirable job. He hasn't played in that position since last year, and so it was a difficult task for him. But I thought he did a pretty admirable job.
What was going through your head at halftime, down 1-0?
I just I felt like it was never going to be easy. That's what I told the guys. I mean, if we walked into this thinking that this was going to be a stroll in the park for us here just because we were at home and just because the result last week was favorable for us, and we were mistaken. And so in some ways, I thought the challenge in front of us was a good one. And just reminded the guys again, all we need is one bit of extra something, one bit of extra effort, one bit of extra. One bit of special play in their box, and then we're 1-1, and guess what? We get to wear the gold medals.
Did you feel like there was a defensive letdown on Monterrey's goal at all?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm sure that we can analyze it, and it's probably, if I look back at it, probably the exact thing we talked to the guys that we did not want to allow. passes in between us in the midfield and in between us, in between our right back and center back, and there you go. But I tried to remind the guys multiple times that when you play a team as talented as Monterrey, you take one play off and you get punished for it.
Jason, I guess it's tempting a lot of times for fans and media to draw big conclusions about games or tournaments. Is there one to draw from this about MLS, or would you caution people against something like that based on it?
I would hope that people would judge us based on the tournament and not on tonight. Yes, I mean, this was a huge, huge opportunity gone missing, and we feel deeply, deeply sorry about that. But judge us over the entire tournament, and I think we have to be pretty darn proud, and I hope people are proud of us.
Jason, what are you going to tell your players at your next team meeting? How are you going to approach this loss with them?
I think that it's important, again, that we, number one, move on very quickly. We've got a game on Saturday, big MLS match at Portland. And number two, this is a huge challenge in front of us again. Another challenge to see how the guys respond, because it won't be easy. It will not be easy for us to pick up and move on, and we'll see now what kind of group we are.
Do you feel like the loss, as difficult as it is, will be something that you can learn from if you're ever in this kind of a situation?
You know, I think maybe, you know, but again, 75 minutes of really good stuff from our guys. And the difference comes down to a play here or there. Obviously the play that scores against us, and then maybe a play here or there, if we could have a little bit better quality and around their goal, then we have a completely different story. So I don't know if there's a huge lesson to be learned. The lessons are in front of us, I think.
Do you feel like your guys were gassed at all at the end of the game, a little more tired than normal?
No.
Did Monterrey do anything different that you didn't expect? What did they do in the game?
Not at all. Nothing different. They scored their goal exactly in the exact manner that we said we needed to avoid, which was the passes in between our midfielders and the passes in between our center backs and outside backs. We needed to be tighter. You know, maybe one or two players takes just a 2-second nap there, and all of a sudden we're picking the ball out of our net. So.
You talked a lot about that 15-minute period. How did it kind of transition from, you know, that good opening spell and into that 15 minutes where you thought things were?
Yeah, I just think I really felt like the movement in our midfield during that spell wasn't good enough. I felt like guys were kind of, you know, and again, it may just be the cautious mentality that you just can't avoid in these two-leg series. You know, maybe everybody was thinking, well, if we just continue this way and don't allow them to score, we're going to be okay, rather than what I would want it to happen was to be that aggressive mentality. No, we want to continue to push this game, and we want to create the chances, and we want to score the goals. But the movement in our midfield wasn't good enough from that period, and then our outside backs when they'd get the ball, or our center backs when they get the ball, and no options to play in the midfield, and then they're playing direct. And that stretches us out and gives them the ball back, and now they're coming back at us again and again and again.
Jay, how was the crowd for you?
Excellent. Unbelievable. You know, we asked them to come early and to be loud at the beginning of the match, and they did exactly that. So we have to be extremely thankful for our support once again.
Can you talk about the possession game?
Yeah, it just did. That's what I was saying. From minutes 30 to 45 is when we struggled, and that's when we allowed the goal, because we weren't good enough with the ball.
Would McBurnham have made a difference in the game?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, but again, I think Ned did a very, very admirable job. But Kyle's a special player for us, and he wears the captain's band for a reason.
Can you talk about the Beltran substitution?
Yeah, Robbie Russell pinged his hamstring, so that was an injury decision.